know exactly why I expound on that.
Cause why would he even want?
Lopez, Gervonta Davis, are you ready to go through these fights?
Winner versus winner, they make this, and if you watch box, like how many years we're waiting, like Pacquiao versus Mayweather, how many years we're waiting Wilder versus...
Gervonta Davis has delivered a brutal reaction after watching Manny Pacquiao's training footage, questioning why the 46-year-old legend is returning to the ring. Davis expressed concern and disbelief, suggesting that Pacquiao's comeback is dangerous and warning that today's fighters won't show him any mercy.
He got it.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yes. For sure. For sure.
Gervonta Davis, one of the most explosive and feared lightweights in modern boxing, has never shied away from the idea of facing Manny Pacquiao. Despite acknowledging Pacquiao's legendary status, Davis confidently believes that he would have no major difficulty handling the Filipino icon. His confidence doesn't come from disrespect, but from the mindset of a fighter who believes that today's generation possesses a different level of speed, explosiveness, and power. For Davis, who is in his physical prime, a bout with a 46-year-old Pacquiao could be both a career-defining moment and a showcase of generational dominance.
Just saying him and then he fighting somebody like Pacquiao, it give me hope for sure. It doesn't matter who I fight, it doesn't matter. As long as I put on a great performance whoever I fight, it doesn't matter. I don't believe that.
In an interview following the announcement of his return fight against Mario Barrios, Manny Pacquiao maintained a cautious yet open outlook about his future. When asked about potential matchups with names like Ryan Garcia, Pacquiao responded with a one-step-at-a-time attitude. However, his refusal to rule out future bouts has fueled speculation about a possible multi-fight comeback, depending on how he performs against Barrios. This suggests that Pacquiao is taking his return seriously and not simply treating it as a farewell appearance.
When you beat Barrios, what's next? Are you going to fight Ryan Garcia, Haney, Lopez, Gervonta Davis? Are you ready to go through these fights?
One at a time.
But you want those guys?
We'll see. We'll see. I always, I cannot say after this I'm going to fight like that, but one at a time. After the fight, we can see, we can talk like.
Throughout his interviews, Pacquiao has made it clear that he never backs down from a challenge, even at an age when most fighters have long retired.
Any possibility that you would go back in the ring and fight someone like a Tank Davis?
If he wants, and if he come up to 147, then we can fight.
He can't meet you at 140?
145 maybe. It's not a problem for me, because I'm an experienced fighter, so.
Even before officially announcing his return, Pacquiao mentioned names like Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, and Conor McGregor as potential opponents. This shortlist reveals not just competitive ambition, but also business savvy. Each fighter brings not only excitement, but massive pay-per-view potential.
So I'm not sure how true this is, but supposedly Manny Pacquiao's coming out of retirement. And these are the three names that he's interested in fighting. And now, of these three names, which one do you think is the best matchup? Conor McGregor? That would just be a money grab. Everyone knows Manny Pacquiao's skill level is way above Conor's. Tank Davis? Nah, Manny Pacquiao would get knocked out by Tank Davis. I'm telling you right now, Tank would catch him, and Manny's going night-night. Now, Ryan Garcia is the fight that makes the most sense in my opinion. If you guys remember, this fight was heavily rumored at one time, and I think it might even been booked at one time, but it fell through at the last minute. And it makes the most sense to happen. Ryan Garcia is the big name currently in boxing. Style-wise, they match up perfectly. And it's a fight that could go either way. If Ryan Garcia wins, he adds a big name like Manny Pacquiao on his resume. And I know he's coming out of retirement, but still, that's Manny Pacquiao. And if Manny Pacquiao wins, he adds to his legacy and inserts himself right back in the title run. So again, these are just rumors, and I don't know if Manny Pacquiao's really out of retirement. But if he is, the fight that makes the most sense.
Behind the scenes, industry insiders suggest that a potential bout between Davis and Pacquiao isn't just fantasy matchmaking. Both camps are reportedly open to negotiations, provided Pacquiao proves he can still compete against Barrios. For Davis, Sharing the ring with a living legend like Pacquiao would elevate his profile even further.
So basically, your interpretation is that the boxing public is upset because they believe Pacquiao's gonna beat Barrios, which is gonna lead to a Tank Pacquiao fight?
Yes, look around. Look in the Discord. That's what everybody, Pac and Tank, that's being set up.
Oh,
Tank
so,
and Pac.
okay, so they saying Barrios is the setup for Tank and Pac. I didn't see that, but your argument makes sense. If he beats Barrios, there's nothing wrong with him fighting Tank. But the issue is he don't deserve the Barrios fight off of 3 years off and a loss to Ugas.
Next, Crimea River, man. That's what boxing is. But longer deserve a Canelo fight?
I'm just gonna rub it in. Pause. I remember saying when Tank couldn't get a fight in, I was saying Shakur shouldn't have signed that deal with Matchroom if he wanted to fight Tank. Lomachenko, I said he ducked. But then when he couldn't find a fight, I said, hey, fight Manny Pacquiao. The reason why I said fight Manny Pacquiao at 144 was, number one, you can get the sensationalism and the crazy hype shit of a Jake Paul fight, right? It got the money grab on. On top of that, though, he can prepare for 140 by fighting Manny at 144, get a training camp in at a heavier weight class. Then he could come down from 144 and fight Tio at 140. Everybody said that don't make sense, Biz. Tank fight Lamont Roach, take a knee, draw.
MMA icon Khabib Nurmagomedov recently shared his dissatisfaction with the current state of boxing. He criticized modern matchmaking and promotional decisions, saying they focus more on spectacle than true competition. In his view, fights like Pacquiao versus Barrios reflect a system driven by big names and profits rather than fairness or fighter safety.
Winner versus winner, they make this, and if you watch box, like how many years we're waiting, like Pacquiao versus Mayweather, how many years we're waiting Wilder versus Tyson Fury, they have like 100-0, 100-0, like people beg, hey, please make this fight, and it's like...
Boxing legend and promoter Oscar de la Hoya also expressed serious concern about Pacquiao's decision to fight at age 46. According to de la Hoya, preparing for a high-level bout at that age is extremely demanding and recovery is much slower. He emphasized that what Pacquiao needs now is rest, not another grueling training camp.
You're 46 years old. You have to remember that. So give your body some rest. Rest right now is Manny Pacquiao's friend in between training, in between sparring sessions. There's no shame in taking a day off or two, Manny. Trust me. Let your body relax, let your body rest. He'll do fine. He's experienced. He's got obviously the power because it never leaves you. The speed I'm a little worried about, but I think, look, Barrios is a live dog. He's a world champion, and he's no slouch. So I think it's going to be a good fight. I wish Manny all the best. I'm not sure who's going to win. I really haven't seen Barrios, but I think Barrios, the youth is obviously, with him in his corner.
Rising star Jesse "Bam" Rodriguez gave a blunt take on the upcoming Pacquiao versus Barrios matchup. While honoring Pacquiao's legendary career, Rodriguez predicted a one-sided contest favoring Barrios. He pointed out that youth activity and hunger often overcome even the most experienced veterans. I think Mario is going to go out there and put a beating on Manny, Rodriguez said. Manny's a legend. He's already done what he had to do. I don't really see why he's coming back, but if he wants to fight Mario, then Mario's going to have to show him what youth looks like. A lot of fans are surprised, but they're also excited to see Manny back in action.
He's gonna go out there and just put a beating on Manny. I think Manny's a little too old, but he's a legend. He really did what he did, so I really don't see a reason for him to come back. But if he wants to get in the ring with Mario, then I guess Mario has to show him that, youth. He has a youth, and Manny Pacquiao should have just stayed retired.
Yeah. That's what a lot of fans are saying, and are still kind of disbelief. But even looking at social media and the fans, they're thrilled just to see him back. So just to have him in the ring, and his fighters at that age are not competing.
I think that just says a lot about the type of fighter Manny Pacquiao is, the stardom he has. He's what, 46, 47?
He's 46.
And people are still excited to see him fight. So, that just says a lot about him and what he's done in his career. So, like I said earlier, to see a friend I grew up with fight Manny Pacquiao is just going to be pretty cool. And it's the same night. So, it's a huge night for San Antonio boxing.
Barrios holds key advantages in age, height, and reach. At 28, he's more active, sharper, and physically fresher. His longer reach could allow him to control the fight's tempo, keep Pacquiao at a distance, and exploit defensive gaps.
Breaking news, Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios is official for July 19th in Las Vegas for Barrios' WBC welterweight title. After 4 years off from pro boxing, Pacquiao will try to become the oldest active world champion in boxing at 46 years old and one of the oldest champions in boxing history. Now, this fight has been rumored for quite a while. They tried to make it last year after Pacquiao had an exhibition with Rukia Anpo, but they were never able to finalize a deal. But earlier this year, they re-entered negotiations and they finally made it official now. Now, in terms of the fight itself, Barrios, he's gonna have a huge age and size advantage. You know, the guy is 29 years old, right in his physical prime. He's probably gonna weigh around 160, 165 pounds on the night of the fight. Whereas Pacquiao, like I said, he's 46 years old. He won't weigh over 145 pounds on the night of the fight. And Barrios, he's just gonna try to stay behind the jab and the straight shots and use that youth to win in the fight. Now, what I will give Pacquiao is he does have a huge IQ advantage, and Barrios' defense didn't look that great in his last fight. But still, the age is the main factor, but you guys let me know. Are you excited for Manny's return, or is it too risky at his age?
Trainer Robert Garcia praised Pacquiao's incredible legacy, but acknowledged the unavoidable effects of age. Despite Pacquiao's efforts to stay in shape during retirement, Garcia emphasized that age affects reflexes, stamina, and recovery, vital attributes in the ring. Many in the boxing world share Garcia's concern that this comeback might carry serious risks.
Well, Pacquiao's a big name, and obviously Barrios a great fight for Barrios because, you know, he's a champion, and I think Pacquiao, you know, being that they both have connections with PBC, that's the easiest fight to make. So, you know, getting another title opportunity, I, you know, just the name obviously, but I really believe that, you know, Pacquiao shouldn't be fighting. I think it's actually going to be a little. I don't want to say sad because he's gonna make a lot of money, so we can't feel sorry for him. But at 46, almost 47, it's almost impossible for, you know, I'm just 4 years older, 4 years older than him, and it's not easy to try to think you're gonna get in shape and be able to perform like the way you were in, you know, when you were in your 20s and 30s.
You think it's impossible for him to beat Mario Barrios right now?
Well, it's not impossible because he has power. He, you know, that he should have that power. Barrios is big and a strong boy, so I don't see that happening. But is it possible? Anything's possible. You know, George Foreman did it. There's been others that do it. You know, but I really don't see it happening.
But Pacquiao speed's the name of his game. Do you think? He doesn't have that. There's no way he didn't have the same speed as before.
There's no way, bro. You guys, I don't know if you guys seen his last performance.
The exhibition against that big guy.
It was actually embarrassing to see that shit. You know, so it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. You know what I mean?
If Pacquiao wins, what does that do for him? Where does that put him all time?
Hell, come on. At that age, after like a few years, I don't know how many years it's been off. You know, that'd be impressive. It's hard to think it's gonna happen, but that shit would be nice, man. It would be nice. Very few have done it, and he's actually one that could do it.
Pacquiao, he's probably top 5 all time, one of the greatest fighters.
Several boxing experts have raised alarms about Pacquiao's health. A 5-year break from competitive action is no small matter, especially at 46. Boxing is a punishing sport that doesn't spare anyone, and some fear Pacquiao could suffer lasting damage. History has shown that comebacks at this age often end in irreversible consequences.
Because what's the worst case scenario? Someone gets seriously hurt. Someone has like life-altering injuries, and that could happen in boxing. We've seen this. Manny Pacquiao isn't immune to this. He's been knocked out. He's been hit. He's not Floyd, who has been hardly hit. Like, he's been knocked out cold. I thought when he got knocked out by Marquez, I thought he died. It was that scary. Yeah. Remember that one? So
I do.
Ultimately, I'm most surprised that if it hasn't been officially announced, if it lands in Nevada or California, I'll be very surprised and dare I say disappointed.
Though no one questions Pacquiao's achievements, his return has divided the boxing world. Many fans feel he has nothing left to prove and worry that a poor showing could tarnish his flawless legacy. Continuing to chase titles at this stage could risk both his health and the memory of his once invincible reign.
Like, being a world champion means you are the best in the world. You are the champion of this world at your weight class. We all know right now, at least to me, it's common knowledge, that's Jaron Boots Ennis. At 147, he is the best in the world. But he doesn't hold all 4 belts, so he is only one of the 2 or 3, I guess now, world champions. Doesn't make sense to me, and especially when now you're the WBC and you're like, yeah, let's bring in Manny Pacquiao to potentially win a world championship. And let's say he pulls it off by some miracle. Are we going to put Manny Pacquiao in there with Boots Ennis? Is that what we're going to do? I hope not. And again, this is not me trying to be a hater. It's just, I don't want to see Manny get hurt. And Barrios, you know, not the biggest puncher in the world, but he can hurt it badly. He is a volume puncher, and he will be in there against a guy that, again, isn't a natural 147. Even if he finished his career at 147, that's not where Manny was his best self. He's definitely going to be at a massive size disadvantage here. Height, reach, everything. Again, when Manny was in his prime, or, you know, honestly, when he was still in his late 30s and early 40s before he retired, he could have handled that. His speed was still there. The consistency was still there. He wasn't running for political office and doing all this other stuff and taking time off. We see this time and time again. When a boxer retires, takes a long time off, and then comes back, it usually, again, outside of George Foreman, rest in peace to the GOAT, it usually doesn't go well. And I don't think this is going to either. And it's clear to me that this is done for, you know, a staging of an event versus the actual competitive nature of the fight. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong and that Manny still has it, but I'm just going to go with what makes the most sense. The WBC and whoever they partner with on this is going to try to sell tickets off of it. Okay, that's fine. But what's the point of the belt if this is the match? What are you saying?
The criticism isn't limited to Pacquiao. Some analysts question Barrios' choice to fight someone so far past their prime. They argue this matchup isn't about elite competition, but rather a calculated move to gain prestige without facing a real challenge. From this angle, the fight appears ethically questionable rather than competitively valid.
Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao are in talks for the WBC welterweight title fight. They want to do it in Vegas. Pacquiao's 45 and hasn't competed since August 2021 in a decision loss. Mario Barrios is definitely trying to stat pad at this point. In a stacked welterweight division, you can fight Crawford. If you don't want to fight someone who's coming off a W, fight Spence Jr. Fight Jaron or Stanius, you know? Fight one of the top 4 fighters. You're ranked top 5 and you want to fight Manny Pacquiao. That's stat padding. That shouldn't even count as a win. And I love Manny Pacquiao, but I mean, in his prime, he would definitely be Mario Barrios, but it's past his prime. Hasn't fought in 3 years, is 45 years old. It's time to hang it up, bud. I will say, though, if he somehow miracle pulls it off, it'll be the greatest win, I think, in my opinion.